Welcome to the Numerology and Astrology for November 6, 2021. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 13, and if you add the 1 and the 3 together, you get the number 4. The number 4 is the number of neutral mind. It's the number of right brain, left brain balance. It's the number that is the four walls that hold up a house. So the number 4 shows us that being objective and calm supports a world that has more neutrality and balance. If we are to learn how to create a better world, we need to first step past emotional reactivity and the need to put labels on people and things. Balance is learned, and when we recognize that it is important and something that, as a world, we want to maintain. Often, when we are young, we are naturally in the flow of organic balance, but as we develop our left brain and engage with the external human reality, that pulls us out of alignment and into the domains of stress and projection. But such a world is an exhausting one, and one that does not feed our soul. That is what gives us an impetus to seek another expression of our life. I am hearing it from many people. The world that we have created is not one that they want to continue or live in. So many are seeking a better work-life balance. Companies are not going to be able to manipulate the workers in the same ways that they have for centuries. People are finally noticing that keeping up with the Joneses is not a goal they wish to continue. A more simple and happy life is attractive in a way that it never was before. Living in a place and space that has a frenetic tempo is less important. And having a life, not a career or some important mission, that is what is most sought after. I believe that there are movements to get back to a type of life that supports real connection with others. We are starving for deeper intimacy and connection. We are starving for peace, and I hope that allows this world to spin in a different way that allows us to dance more and rush less. The astrology today. The moon is in Sagittarius, supporting us in getting out this weekend and having an adventure. Perhaps taking a trail that is filled with color in the fall leaves would be a wonderful interlude. Explore the outdoors before it gets bitterly cold. Give yourself permission to discover what is around the next bend in a trail. Let nature paint a landscape that is wondrous and memorable. Mercury and Venus have shifted into new signs, and those planets are sextiling each other. This gives us a deeper place to connect and to bring more warmth into the mix. Somehow, compromises seem easier, and finding common ground is possible. We might need to have a lot of details ironed out before we get to the final version and agreement, but at least we are in a place that supports a coming together. It is a good weekend for a bit of romance, and the focus is on those that we partner with in life. Conversations flow, and feelings are easier to express. My quote for today: dance while you can. Dance into the setting sun. Dance in the moonlight. Dance as the sun rises. Every breath is a dance of air. Every sky is a panorama of movement and light. Every expression is a feeling trying to escape the physical world. Every twinkle in the eye is the reminder of home. And my blog for today. The passion of dance is what has always pulled me in. It is that amazing balance between training, skill, art, and risk. I loved the routine and the discipline of those ballet classes that set the tone for our rehearsal day. Daily ballet class felt like being in a boot camp. All the dancers get dressed up and put on their warm-ups and go into an often cold studio and sit on the floor and start stretching. I remember being young and walking into the studios in Berlin. I was always early because of the cleaning ladies would have cleaned the room early in the morning and would have opened the windows to get the smell of sweat and stinky bodies out of the space. But the room was then freezing cold. I would close the windows and turn up the radiant heaters full blast. Everyone in Berlin has various leg warmers, usually personally knitted, full body suits that were also knitted, and sometimes caps and or sweaters on. We all looked like a motley crew, sitting on the floor in the splits, trying to warm the muscles up, flexing and pointing the feet, rolling the ankles to get some blood flowing into the extremities. I remember Rudolf Nureyev coming in with tattered warm-up leggings and his famous ski cap on. I remember Eva Evdokimova with also her tattered warm-up leggings and her fresh face with no makeup and a bright smile stretching on the floor. While some stars such as Ava were so down to earth and easygoing, Rudy was very much an energy that changed the tone and seriousness of the room when he walked in. Rudy was very serious about his technique and what he personally needed for his body. After all, he was older when I knew him and older than most dancers in the room. If the teacher did not give the steps that he wanted or required, he would pull down his ski cap over his eyes and just do what he wanted for each exercise. Such things were never done in the regimented world of ballet. The teacher was God, and you did what you were told, no questions asked, and for sure no attitude. It would instantly create a tension in the room, and that teacher's face would morph into an irritated hag. Rudy was the only prima donna I have ever really met. Every other dancer seemed to be very down to earth and approach class as a process to becoming better. They could find a way to navigate what they needed by stretching in between the steps and given by the teacher. I have had great teachers and some that were less than helpful in maintaining my technique and skill, but one learns to cope with all of them. That is what is required. Class is where you get your body back into a place where it responds quickly to what is required of it. Class wakes up the muscles and stimulates the nerves. Class is like a cup of coffee to a dancer. It is warming, and that warmth spreads and circulates throughout the body until you feel strong yet supple. From there, the day progressed into rehearsals, lunch breaks, and more rehearsals, with sometimes a performance in the evening. In Berlin, there was a big break in the middle of the day because it was the only time you had to go grocery shopping. Stores back then were often not open later in the evening, and refrigerators were small and did not hold much other than 1 or 2 days of food. It seemed as if life was nonstop movement. But it was alive, and it was fun. Crazy antics were constantly happening from the clowns of the group, which, more often than not, were the gay men. When you do literally everything together for months and years at a time, you get to know the temperament and mannerisms of each person intimately. But dancers are a focused and serious group. Even chatting, they are still stretching and warming up. Even learning the next set of exercises, they are moving and shaking off tension in their bodies. And quirks are accepted as a part of what makes a dance company interesting and deeply intimate. In a dance company, there are those that are attracted to the process of self-discipline and a high degree of accountability. Everything rides on your ability to accomplish a task or not. And if you cannot do what is asked, you are fired. It is that simple, and everyone knows it. So while there is a craziness that is effervescent in a ballet company, there's also a type of focus and intensity that underlies all things. Being in a ballet company gives each of us something that is hard to explain. Camaraderie is a part of it, but it is camaraderie with competition, because we are always striving to be better. We are learning to watch others and the skills of others. We took risks because we could see others do things we could not. We asked and got feedback from those more skilled because how they felt, perceived, and mentally constructed movement in their mind was helpful to us finding a pathway through our own nervous system to make a quality of movement happen. There is a humbleness in dancers because no one ever thinks they're good enough. There's always someone better than you. There's always something new to strive for. There is always a way to make something better. The fulfillment is in the expression of the most subtle nuance that has the power to carry itself from the stage and to be read and felt by the audience at the top balcony. Dance is a skill that allows what we feel inside to touch the hearts and souls of others in such a way that as they open to the movement and expression we show them, they feel the freedom and abandon of their soul expand beyond their own body, and that essence is then captured on a great wave that is brought back to the dancer, which then feeds the energy into a powerful loop that continues on through this world and into the infinite space and beyond time itself. Thanks, everyone.